Right, guys. Welcome to the recap for Week 10. Long time no speak. It is me, Mr. Hudson, Walter Hudson, coach of the Grizzlies, and man of the peoples, Mr. Peoples, Cortez Peoples. How you doing, my guy?
Doing well, man. Doing well.
Yeah, this it's been a while since we've been here, man. It's 2 weeks off, there's a gap in the, in the hoops, but as I always say, let's get right into it. 12 p.m. game was the Magic and Celtics. This game was a no contest. Had to end early due to misconduct from players of the Magic. The description is on the website. But I mean, long story short, due to when you have misconduct in a game, it kind of throws off the vibes. Luckily, things didn't escalate to a point where we couldn't continue the day and nobody was hurt. Um, and it's just not something that we represent for K1. But um, shout out to it not, like I said, escalating. Won't really speak too much on that. We get straight to the 1 p.m. game, which is our technical first game of the day. Um, Grizzlies versus Heat. Uh, Mr. Peoples, your Heat team, the team that you coach versus the team that I coached. Last week we came into for the preview. We came in and we said, we're just gonna come out and grind out a win. We just gonna do whatever it takes. Score was 78-71. Game went to overtime. The Grizzlies win in overtime. Heat had the advantage in the first half, 35-32. Grizzlies take that 3 points back, winning 39-36 in the second half, forcing overtime and winning in overtime 7-0, giving them the 7 point win. Jalman Sullivan, Miko Sullivan did what they came to do. 22 points from Jalman on 10-13 shooting. Miko Sullivan, 7 for 16 shooting, 6 threes out of 13. He took 21 points. Just those guys came to play. Jalman really, did what it is he needed to do. He got straight to the basket and did not look back. He made a lot inside the paint, and he only took 2 free throws. That was one thing that I felt was odd about the game. For as much as he was attacking, I felt like we did a good job defending him without fouling, but I think he wanted to get to the line more. But the Grizzlies had 2 guys in double figures as well. 22 points from Chad White and 22 points from Wally Watson. Daryl Harris with a double-double had 13 points and 12 rebounds. And just small contributions from Jeremiah Mitchell, myself, and Rich Kirk. You talked to me about what you saw throughout this game.
I was PA in this game, so it was interesting. It was definitely entertaining, up and down. Uh, I mean, but as the game continued and went into overtime, in that moment, the Grizzlies just made more plays. So they were able to win that particular game. He just gotta put together games all the way through, from start to finish. A good starting team, but not a great finishing team. So it's just something that they have to work on. So that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I feel like the Heat came to play this game. I feel like defensively as the Grizzlies were not where we needed to be. I don't think that it was I don't think the intensity or was there early enough. I think we picked it up later in the game, especially down the stretch, and we made big shots. Wally Watson had his breakout game with a 22 point, had 4 assists as well, 2 steals. His 3 for 4 from three, 5 for 7 from the free throw line. This is a game where the Grizzlies actually got to the free throw line. Like this is another game where we didn't take as many 3 pointers, but we hit half of them. We were 8 for 16 from three. Uh, so we were knocking our shots down. We need to make more free throws. It was 16 for 26. So if you ask me, this game shouldn't have went to overtime if we make our free throws. That's 10 extra points that we left there. So, but I think that he did a good job making shots down the stretch too. Darian Bosby hit 4 threes. Miko hit 6. Shaq even hit a big three. That's 11 threes. So I think this was a good game overall. It really came down to extra possessions of rebounding from the Grizzlies and just execution, and that's all I really got. For the next game, you had the Sixers versus the Bulls, and this just wasn't a game. 84-61, Bulls dominate both halves, 40 in the first half to 29, and then 44-32, Bulls win both halves. For like I said, final score 84-61. Miles Bergens did what he needed to do, had 32 points, was 13 for 22 from the field, 5 for 10 from three. Uh, just really having a really great game. Jordan Winfield had 19 points, hit 5 threes himself. 13 of his 15 shots were threes, so they were shooting the ball a lot. But Benny Munoz, Benny Buckets with the 21 points, Bobby Krivokapic with 17, Nick Crow, who was our player of the week, had 24 points, 14 rebounds, and 6 assists, had a great game himself, 6 for 6 from the free throw line, 9 for 14 from the field. And Seth Johnson had a great game himself, 7 for 11, had 14 points and 12 rebounds. When you get two guys that can get a double double, and they both combined for 10, 10 assists. That's really hard to stop. So, good job for them staying out of foul trouble for the Bulls. Miles Bergens did foul out, so didn't leave them with much. I don't really have much to say. I think this was just a dominant performance from the Bulls. I think the Bulls did what they needed to do. How do you feel, Mr. Peoples?
Yeah, I mean they did what they had to do as far as getting to their spots. Shooting the ball, what they do best, and getting the ball inside to Seth and Nick. Definitely need to really explore that even more as time go forward, and also just figure out a formula on defense so they can stop other teams because they haven't very very known for their defense because they because I believe their offense gets so much attention that they just like let's outscore, rebound, things of that nature. But as the playoffs come, they need to develop a formula to stop teams and half court their half court offense to limit other teams' possessions so that they can come up with victories in the playoffs. But yeah, they did what they had to do against Philadelphia, though.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was just like I said, it was just more so executing the game plan for me. I think they did a good job of knowing where they needed to attack. They attacked it and they didn't force too much anything. 10 for 22 from three, 33 for 60 from the field. I mean, just the 43 rebounds, just they play to their advantage. They can play outside with the shooting and they can play inside. They can score, like I said, give you the bucket however you need it. But that scares teams in the first round though, because any team that sees the Bulls knows that they have to put the ball in the basket. So it's just one of those. I understand where you're coming from. Bulls definitely need to, if they become a better defensively, then they would definitely be a tough out, regardless of if they score high points or not. The next game was the game of the week, possibly game of the season, was the Nets versus the Warriors, and the Warriors came out on top. First half was very low scoring, 23-21, and then very high scoring second half was 36-35. And the Warriors win both halves. First one by 2 points, second one by 1 point. This game was very intense. A lot of defense going on, very scrappy. Both the Warriors couldn't find the basket, and they couldn't find the basket early, and they weren't hitting their threes until somewhat in the middle of the second half. I I am so impressed with the Warriors grinding out this win with this 6-man roster because the Nets played, I believe, 9 guys. The Nets played 9 guys, and they end up losing this game. You would think that the fatigue of the Warriors would have settled in at one point, but they were able to close this out. And I'm just gonna say, for this is my hot take. I think that Kawani Blackman has been the best player this season for the Warriors. In a game like this where he only takes 7 shots, but he goes 13 for 16 from the free throw line and gets 19 points on 7 shots. And then he's out there guarding, the best players during high intense moments and putting the ball where it needs to be, like being a guard when he needs to be, and having all of these stars on his team, but still maintaining to play his game. Like he what he did for the Warriors this game allowed them to maintain and stay in it for when Tyree did hit those 3 big threes. Because he didn't have a great shooting night. He was 5 for 15 from the field. Even from the free throw line, he missed 2 big ones. Like it was huge. So I think that the Nets did a really good job sticking to their game plan. I think they took a lot of smart shots. They took more shots than the Warriors. They out rebounded the Warriors, 27-21. They also had more turnovers, but this game came down to the free throw shooting. It was only 6 free throws the entire game for the Nets, and the Warriors shot 32 free throws. 32 free throws. And they win this. They scored 23 points of their game from the free throw line. 23 of their 59. That is insane. That is insane. But shout out to the Warriors for the win. This was a grinded out game. Literally just a grinded out game for the Warriors. Like they had nothing going. Nobody had anything going, and they just grinded it out. How you feel about it, Mr. Peoples?
Well, I mean, as I said, when I made my pick, I knew. I mean, I didn't pick the Warriors. I didn't pick the Warriors for no reason. I just feel like they're developing the chemistry with their team, and it's helping. And even when shots are falling, they're still pushing one another. Again, like there's no arguing or anything of that nature, and it's making them a better team. So that's why I picked them, because eliminating all those extra factor things that were bothering them made them a more superior team. So I mean, again, this could be another semifinal matchup, final matchup, and thing, and it definitely could go the other way. But I mean, the Warriors are definitely my pick to win it all, because I don't feel that. I feel like Antonio pushes it to another level, especially when playoff comes. Tyree not gonna shoot the way he did. KP played a great game, so they do it as a collective unit. Everybody know they role, and they just play it. So yeah, that's me, man.
Yeah, man. These are 2 really good teams. The Nets could have won this game. Um, it's a lot of things. There's a lot of factors into how this game could have been won for either team, which is how grit and grinded out it was. It's like it's a 3-point game, but it's so many. The box score is just nuts. Um, yeah. But the next game, which was the game that I would have called the game of the week if it wasn't for the Warriors and Nets, was the Lakers and the Bucks. And my oh my oh my, the Lakers were down this entire game. I want to say they were down by 20 at one point. Yeah, at the half they were losing by 18. It was 48-30 at the half, and then the Lakers come back in the second half, win the second half 38-20, and then they go into overtime and win by 3. And the Bucks, they all played a great game. Derek Golden with 17 points, 6 rebounds. I mean 6 assists and 11 rebounds. Caleb with 11 points, 6 assists, 6 rebounds. You have 12 points, and you have 12 points and 6 rebounds for Farad Johnson. You got 19 points and 10 rebounds for Quan Shaw and Tristan Swartz, my guy. The focal point, the turning point of the game was the double technical foul that he received, and Tone Brooks got 5 free throws. So he was able to, swing the game that way and kind of force the overtime. But the story of this game was Terrell Hendricks and Tone Brooks. Um, Andre Robertson Jr. did a good job of being the point guard that they needed for this game. Quill Marshall definitely was out there and had the first, I believe, 6 or 8 points for the team. And gave them a spark, had 6 steals himself. But Terrell Hendricks with 30 points, 7 rebounds, had 5 steals, shot 11 for 21 from the field, 4 for 8 from three, just 50% all over the board. He had an outstanding game. And Thone couldn't find the basket early, but found it late when he needed to. 8 for 10 from the free throw line for him, had 24 points and 4 rebounds. Those two guys carried the load offensively. Um, this was just an outstanding game. This is all I can say. It was just a comeback win for the Lakers. They got all their buckets late, and the Bucks were just dominating early inside. Shout out to the Lakers for being outstanding. That's my only concern though. In order for them to win games, I feel like their stars have to be outstanding, and that was what they had. That's what they did against this Bucks team, and it's impressive. I love it. I love when guys that have game come with it and do it consistently at a high pace and can just prove to people that they can, like this is something I can maintain. This is just what I do. You can count me in instead of just, like I want to see the spectacular from week to week. And that's what I saw last week from these two. And they carried them to a win. How do you feel about the game?
I mean, it was good. It was definitely fast paced. Lakers started off shaky, but they still kept it together and kept pushing one another. And I wasn't there at the end or at overtime, but I mean, just hearing different people after the game, once they came over to my event, I it's not shocking to me that they were able to come back and able to overcome. So yeah, it wasn't shocking. So it's gonna be some great games in the playoffs.
Oh yeah, playoffs is about to be one of those. Yeah, the matchups are gonna be nuts. I'm gonna enjoy the playoffs a lot. The next game and final game was the Spurs and the Thunder, and the Spurs came to handle business as usual. I've seen a better game from the Thunder this week than I'm used to seeing them have, as far as them playing together and moving the ball. But just not enough for the Spurs team. Jeremy Davis, they only had 5 guys, but Jeremy Davis with 17, John Martin with 24, Octavius Davis with 14, Trey Johnson with 10. And the top scorers for the Thunder was CJ Link with 14 points and Tanky Blandon with 12 points. But outside of that, the next person had 9, and that was Antoine Peterson, who had a poster on Trey Johnson in that game, which was crazy. He definitely got him one, and it was nice. But not much to say about this game. Spurs pretty much controlled this game from beginning to end. Saw some runs from the Thunder. Wasn't as far away as some people think. Like I said, it was a 12-point game. The Thunder won the second half, but that first half was just dominant, and it kind of carried them to the end. How you feel about it? Oh, you weren't there. I don't think. I think you had your event.
Yeah, I wasn't there, but I'm not definitely not shocked that the Spurs won. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think we both picked the Spurs to win this game, and yeah, I think the Thunder are just looking for a win. I don't know if they'll get it next week because I believe they play the Bucks. But that'll wrap up our recap for Week 10, guys. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys at the preview for Week 11, last week of the regular season.